What you are about to hear is highly classified. Pay attention and listen at all times. And most importantly, remember, when you listen to Zone 4, you never know what you're going to get. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Zack Snyder, and George Takei. Oh my! Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering Zone 4. And welcome back to the Zone. I'm Brant Fowler.
I'm John Wilson.
I'm Gordon Domowski.
And I'm Chris Ventura.
And this is episode... God, what episode is this? 269, maybe? I forgot to include the number on the agenda. I don't remember.
It's episode 8675309.
Yeah,
8675309.
But no,
actually, this episode, it's not a number, it's a free man.
There you go. But it is technically episode 269 of Zone 4, fastly approaching 275 and 300s just on the horizon. Wow. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's getting close.
This part of our program was brought to you by counting.
And the letter, well, we won't say those letters yet. But
and the letter M and F.
Listen to the outtakes, folks. But before we continue on, we should mention that we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. You can find us each and every Friday on comicspodcasts.com, along with a bunch of other shows, including Zone 4 spinoff Hall of Toys is over there, and eventually, probably, It's a Podcast will make it over there sometime soon. So,
I already have a little sponsor.
Yeah, the baby heard toys and went, agoo.
Exactly. All right, so this past weekend was a convention. First convention I've done in 4 years, I think. So, it's a pretty cool thing. And John, you and your lovely wife, Kim, of course, were responsible for putting this show on. Why don't you talk about it a little bit?
Who said threats don't work? Had to threaten to get him there, but he did come. But before we do that, we have breaking news.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Bum bum, I probably just saw it.
Yep.
Bum bum, you probably did. Does everyone know what the rule of threes means? It generally applies to deaths.
Yeah,
celebrity deaths.
Yeah, the rule of three is usually when things happen, they come three at a time.
Yep.
Indeed. Well, our friend, buddy, comic-related owner, and Comic-Con raconteur, Chuck Moore, has taken that a bit to heart, because he has started his third Comic-Con. It is called the Queen City Comic-Con. It will be February 28th of 2015, so quite a bit away, but still pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, his first con, of course, is the ever-popular Derby City Comic-Con, which will be June 28th and 29th of this year. Then the Cavalcade of Comics, which is in November, a week before Black Friday.
Yep.
And now, the Queen City Comic-Con, which will be in Cincinnati. The previous two cons are in Louisville. This one will be in his current residence of Cincinnati. Beyond that, we can't tell you much, except that it will be in the convention center.
Yeah. Sharonville, what was it called?
I'm not even going to try.
Okay.
It's a convention center in Cincinnati. It's baby, say it for me, because you'll probably say it better.
It's a Sharonville Convention Center.
Yeah, there you go. So, check that out. News will be coming at a fast pace, I'm sure. So, just keep your eyes glued to the Comic Related Facebook page and Twitter, and of course the Derby City Comic Con page and Facebook and Twitter pages. Yeah,
it does already have an official logo up and everything, so that's all you get right now. But
yep,
we're all very excited about it.
Yes, we are, and of course that official logo created by Gonzo Goose Productions. So.
Nice.
Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
I would do it, but I know I'd scare Tommy if I did that right now.
You probably would. He would learn to walk just to run away from you. But back to what I'm supposed to be talking about, the River City Comic Expo. For those of you who have been living under a rock and haven't heard me barble on about it for the past several months, the River City Comic Expo was a convention created by my wife with additional help and sprinkling of comics things done by me. The focus of the expo this time out was to benefit a charity called Fund for the Eyes. It's a charity here in Louisville and the Jefferson County area that helps blind and visually impaired students from ages 3 to 21 with various things they need to help them succeed in life and in their education. So, we put all this together. We had about 42 tables within a mall, within a kind of enclosed strip mall called the Mid-City Mall here in Louisville. 42 tables, not just of comics, but of all sorts of eclectic things. We had the Corn Island Steampunk Society. We had an etched glass person who, Brant can tell you more about because he has one of those lovely glasses in his possession right now. Mm-hmm. We also had various people making all sorts of cool things. Anything you could think of, from jewelry to someone made roses out of comic book pages.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. Just all sorts of weird, cool, fantastic stuff, in addition to some really great art. And I need to tell you that we made for the charity $1,100 and change. I've lost the exact number, but we made over $1,000 for this charity. And we have a lot of people to thank, and we'll be thanking a lot of people on the Facebook page and stuff. But one of them I want to point out, well, a couple of them I want to point out. One of them is an artist named Kyle Hutchings. He did sketch cards for the charity, donating all of his profits to the charity itself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which was really cool. All he asked for was the space to sit at and sketch cards to use, and he just started knocking them out the minute he sat down. Secondly, we had to thank the ladies of the Fund for the Eyes. They'll never hear this because they are not quite tech savvy, but I do want to go ahead and thank them, especially those who went and got the tables and chairs for us that we set up within the con, and then, of course, returned those afterwards. It was a physically daunting task, to say the least, not helped at all by the fact that it rained both during the bring-in and during the takeout, but was bright and sunny during the entire rest of the con. So yeah, we do need to thank those folks, and then thank everyone who came. Need to especially thank the people who did panels for us, Victor Dandridge. Need to thank Darren Miller and Jackie Hernandez of Ringtail Cafe. Need to thank our own Chuck Moore and the lady Jenny Tonic and my Echo Machine for their panel on podcasting. And lastly, need to thank the Corn Island Steampunk Society, Samuel Sprocket, and Abby Firelight, not only for their panel on steampunking, but also Sam ran the costume contest.
Yep.
So, all very cool things. All the galleries are currently up on Comic Related. I think we evened out with about 6 galleries total. Somewhere in the neighborhood of just under 100 pictures.
Wow.
So, yeah. And that's just out of 2 cameras. You know, that's just mostly my wife and Chuck taking pictures. So yeah, go check all that out. And, we're definitely doing it next year. Save the date. This is also an exclusive. This is the first time I'm releasing the date for next year. It is going to be May the 16th of 2015. That is the third Saturday in May. So that should hopefully avoid pretty much everyone's graduation, not to mention free comic book day, and the local run for the roses that we have every year, of course, the Kentucky Derby. The only conflict that I have noticed is Wizard World St. Louis, and, fee, fi, and foe on Wizard World anyway. So...
That's quite a ways away. I don't think it's going to make that much
Yeah,
sense.
indeed. So make sure and save the date. Not 100% sure it will be in the same venue. Might possibly be, but we're keeping our options open, and I have a whole year to plan. So I can tell you it is going to be bigger and better and uncut. So there we go.
Yeah. And for people in St. Louis, it's okay to skip Wizard World and head to this. It's much better.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. Wizard
at
World
least-
convention's boring.
Yeah, and at least some of it will still be for charity. If not all of it again. So
And you'll actually save money, too.
that's true.
Well, that is true, yeah.
You will save money. I mean, driving to Louisville is a heck of a lot cheaper than doing anything in St. Louis.
And, of course, the money you do spend goes to a great cause, so...
Indeed.
Just real quick, because I actually did set up at the show.
You did?
Yeah, I was, believe it or not.
We have pictures. It was like a Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah.
Oh, those were photoshopped.
Oh, no. They actually exist.
And, we were going to... My mother actually came with me to this convention, and it was a real treat. She's never been to a comic convention. She's never seen me in that element, so it was really cool to have her there most of the day. We had actually only intended to be there for a few hours because she needed to get back, but she was having such a good time. We stayed almost to close. Got to see a bunch of old friends that I haven't seen for a long time, met some people that I hadn't seen in person before, like Jonathan Swinney, some others. So it was a great time. I had a blast. I did some sketch cards and this and that, and I just had a lot of fun. So I actually did a video. If you go to the Zone 4 podcast YouTube channel, I made a little vlog talking about the experience, so you can check that out.
Yes, he did, actually. It was actually very cool. I saw it right after the day of the con, and I was suitably surprised and a little bit touched, actually.
So yeah, go watch that.
Next year, John, you got to find a way to make it so that people can donate to the fund online. Because a lot of my listeners were asking if there was a way to do that.
Well, we will. That's on the list, actually, of things to set up. We'll figure out some way to rig something in PayPal where people can donate.
Yeah, just a PayPal donate
Yeah,
or something.
and John, drop me an email, because I know there are actually certain platforms where you can actually set up like little fundraising things and designate charities. So I'm more than willing to do some of the research for you. I mean,
nice. Thank you.
Very cool. Yeah. So
see, that's the power of Zone 4, kids. We actually work together. You don't get this kind of stuff on other podcasts.
that's right. Yeah. I'm sure there's some out there that probably do something, but no.
Nah, we killed them all. I mean, what?
Yeah. What, Chris?
What?
Yeah.
No.
That's
I
right.
didn't
We
say
may
kill-
fight amongst ourselves, but, when we come together, we're scary.
Yeah.
So,
Much love to
Stay out
all
of the way.
fellow podcasters out there. Just saying.
yeah.
But no, it's great. So looking forward to next year too. So, all right. So we do have a couple of sponsors this week.
Sponsor of the week.
First of all, we have Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/zone4podcast, speaking of supporting things, you can get a free 30-day trial and a free book download.
Nudge.
Yeah, exactly. And it does help Zone 4 and all the affiliated Zone 4 family podcasts. So if you enjoy getting these each and every week, you are just supporting us, and you get something for free too. So it's awesome. And speaking of Audible, there are some interesting choices on there. Over 150,000 titles to choose from, any genre you could think of. We were talking about, in honor of the season finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this past week, which did feature actually a surprisingly prominent role by Samuel L. Jackson. Spoiler alert.
It was in the commercial, so I think it's okay.
But yeah, we looked up some books that Samuel L. Jackson himself narrates, and there's one. I'm actually not going to say this full title, but it is called "Go the Bleep to Sleep." So yeah,
That bleep just means a word like gently. Go the gently to sleep.
okay,
Yes.
yeah, because it doesn't actually say bleep. It actually has 2 letters with 2 dashes in the middle.
Yeah, that's just the Germanic spelling.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the kind of word that if Captain Ron were here and we said out loud, he'd be like, "Hey, how dare you use such naughty language on the podcast? This is a family podcast." So, since he's now visiting family on this week, we figured out of respect we're going to use the expurgated version. But if you want to hear dirty language, go straight to the outtakes.
Exactly. Well, let's put it this way. It's the kind of word that would make George Takei go, "Oh my."
Oh my.
That's a personal.
Oh my.
Oh my.
But if that's not your cup of tea, Samuel L. Jackson also narrates several editions of the Bible Experience. Check that out. That should be an interesting listen. So.
Actually, I was thinking what would be really cool if Samuel L. Jackson wrote a book and then got Morgan Freeman to narrate it.
That would be awesome.
Actually, Samuel L. Jackson once chewed out a guy on I think it was the Fox News Network for calling him Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
You can actually find a video on YouTube.
I saw that.
Actually, Lawrence Fishburne. He called him Lawrence.
Oh yeah,
Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah. Oh man, that was brilliant.
It was hilarious. It's the Hollywood guy. He's like the main Hollywood reporter for some big station in L.A.
Yeah.
And called him Lawrence Fishburne. The funniest thing you'll ever watch in your life. Because the guy is trying to pull him away from it, Yeah. He's trying to get it back to the interview, but...
And he keeps...
but Sam just keeps dragging it back. And, I will use one word in here. Sam goes, hell no. And just keeps going on. And eventually, a few days later, shows up wearing a T-shirt saying that I'm still not Lawrence Fishburne.
And Sam, if you're listening, we would love to have you as part of the podcast, and you could use whatever foul, filthy language you want.
And we promise we won't call you Lawrence Fishburne.
I would never dream of it. You can come and curse for an hour and a half if you want. We'll run it.
I can't promise I won't call you Mace Windu. No, I'm joking.
I think he'd actually like that.
He might.
He might. Or he'll kill you where you stand, one or the other.
All right. So our other sponsor this week is, once again, Derby City Comic Con. We've already mentioned them previously in the show, but the show, as John mentioned, is June 28th and 29th at the Kentucky International Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky. They announced recently that Skystorm Studio, our good friends Robert W. Hickey and Bill Nichols and Chris Dreyer will be there. Various others. And, Sean Forney, a friend of Comic Related, Bob Corby, who does Space in Columbus. Is that right? Yeah.
That is correct. Mark Wade, of course.
Of course. Mark Wade and Robert Venditti, two guests of honor. So,
Laura Innes.
Yeah.
Will be there. Mark's girlfriend and also an educator for a multiple, whatever MOOC stands for, but a lot of people online class on comic books, and she's going to be doing her panel that is a portion of that class, and it is just a fascinating panel. I've seen it, and I do know that she's going to be doing that at the con as well. So
awesome.
In addition to Mark will also be doing a Q&A panel, which I am moderating. So,
oh, nice.
Yep. So come and check that out. Right. In addition to everything else that's going on.
Yep. So you can learn all about that at derbycitycomiccon.com.
Topic time!
It's Topic Time, Headline Edition.
All right. So should we talk about some headlines?
Well, if we have to.
We better, because that's all our show is this week.
That's true. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, couldn't we just spend like the next hour and a half cursing and yelling at each other? Especially with a child present.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to teach the baby new
child
words.
already had the child already walked away.
Oh, I walked away.
No, we were talking about you, Chris.
Well, Chris is 5. Well, no, he's 4 now. But
4.
he was 5, now he's 4.
I
I don't know how that works.
You're teething now.
Yeah.
You're aging in reverse. You're Benjamin Button.
There you go.
There you go.
I've never seen that movie.
Me either, but, that's the concept.
Right.
Or either that or you were born on a leap year and you're actually only, like 2 or 3 now.
Yeah.
Works for me.
But for
Why
anybody,
would that work for you?
I don't know what I would work.
I act about 2 or 3 anyway.
He does.
Well, yeah, true, but,
Anyway,
Now.
it would make your life difficult.
Moving on from all the age talk, gentlemen.
Why?
Nice.
Why? We're enjoying ourselves.
Hey, let's talk headlines.
I'm trying to say something. Let me get in.
Okay.
Welcome to my world, Grant.
I know. If you're wondering out there, all you listeners, why we're not talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Arrow, which both had their season finales this week, just to give you, fill you in, I have not seen Arrow yet, and I didn't want it spoiled for me, honestly, so I'm being very selfish with that. Next week, we will actually be talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so tune in for next week's show, and we'll probably talk about Arrow the following week, so we'll see how it all plays out.
Samuel L. Jackson killed Arrow at the end.
Yeah. And that's why I'm misbehaving, because I really want to talk about it.
I know you do, John. I know. We can touch on a little bit.
No, that's fine. I'll wait.
John has been aching to talk about this for 2 days now. So.
Wait, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Arrow, or both?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Actually, I'm still quite behind on Arrow, but Brant used a word that I find shocking.
Yeah, I watched it Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
And I messaged John. I said, so I was a little bit underwhelmed. And John said, we got to talk about this.
I was like, what?
So,
Brant, what the heck did you expect? I mean, this is it's a season ender, but it's the trick that Whedon and his crew do, which is, okay, we're going to end it, but then we're going to set up year 2.
Yeah, okay. Real quick, because I don't want to go into it and turn this into the topic. Real quick, my thing was I appreciate all the setup for season 2, which was really, really well done. They, introduced a bunch of different threads that go into season 2, and they wrapped up they brought everything to a conclusion for this season. So I like that, but at the same time, I was looking for something a little bit more. It felt just like kind of an average episode to me. That's all. I know. So we will talk about it at length next week.
I had somebody at work today. They know I love comics, and then I watch comic TV whenever I get the chance. They were telling me that the season finale of S.H.I.E.L.D. was spectacular, unexpected, but really good. I said, yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm going to catch the whole series, the whole first season on DVD. Okay. He said the last episode, didn't expect it, but wow.
Okay. Maybe that's why I did expect almost everything that happened, so we'll see.
Again, when it's a person who doesn't read comics, it's it's easy to not expect something. When people like us, we're like, he did it.
The guy died funny, and director, and
there were things I liked. Calm down, John. We don't want to spoil for next week.
Well, I just think, and this is my personal pet peeve, and then I'll drop it. Okay. I'm getting really tired of fans thinking that they somehow have a right to dictate how TV shows write and create. It's one thing after an episode is shown to critique it. It's another to say, well, they shouldn't do this, and they should have done that, and da-da-da-da. And, it's like, you know what? If you don't like something creatively, you don't get to play armchair writer. Either create your own stuff, or just sit back and say, I don't like it, and don't bother watching it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I agree. I do.
And I would direct everyone to the most recent episode of Related Recap,
Yes.
where Chuck talks at length about being a well, for lack of a better term, a hater.
Yeah.
You know, about genre, about all things genre, actually. So, you know, rather than getting to a long, big thing, go listen to that.
Yeah.
And then think about what you were doing on Twitter and on Facebook and on blogs and message boards and things like that.
Yeah. For anybody interested, that is Related Recap episode number 370.
Indeed. So go listen to that. Very good. You know, not to toot Chuck's horn or anything like that, but it was a very good. It was a very good monologue on how you should, you know, approach these things.
Yeah, I agree. It was very good. All right, so more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. later before this turns into a full-blown...
melee.
Exactly that. So, speaking of other comic-related television, though, first, yesterday we got the Flash teaser, which, did you guys all get the chance to see this? The little short teaser where Arrow, it starts off with Arrow.
No.
You didn't get to see this.
Too bad. Okay, well, we're spoiling this one for you.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's fine. Go.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no
I don't
major
hate
plot
spoilers
point.
at all.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
I'll explain the short of it,
teaser.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
go for it.
basically Arrow is walking in a field, and he's walking to this target. He's going to shoot the thing, and in the background we see this blur. And as he's aiming the arrow, it's kind of going back and forth, and the arrow releases, and Flash comes up and grabs the arrow midstream, and he's like, "Woo! I caught it!" You know, it was really cute, really fun, and just a nice little tease for the upcoming Flash series. Did I leave anything out?
No, I don't think so, other than, you know, my nitpickiness that arrows don't spin.
Well,
But,
sure.
I think they're going to do a crossover by season 2 of Flash. If they don't do it already by season 1, there's definitely going to be an Arrow Flash crossover.
they're doing it by episode 1.
Yeah,
And because there's a 5.5 minute first look where, after Barry Allen does, you know, there's the accident, you know, he meets his team of supporters. He and Arrow actually talk, which I really like that they're not doing this isn't the same universe, or they're not going to dance around the issue. I think and that's because it's the same production team that does Arrow.
Yeah, and it started in Arrow, and they have that connection, and I love the fact that they introduced Medicaid.
Which is good, so it can help connect, like they'll be connecting episodes between the two characters, and you can kind of create a little bit of a television universe, sort of.
That's kind of what they've done, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a shared universe. They're not making any bones about that whatsoever.
And you know, that's why I didn't understand with Smallville. We were introduced to a lot of heroes. Like, we had Hawkman, we had the Justice Society, we had, you know, Free Justice League members. I was surprised that none of them got their own series.
They tried with Aquaman, and it just...
Don't even, that doesn't exist, Brandon.
Well, you know, I think the thing is, and we have to give credit to Marvel for this, I think Marvel showed that you can do things within a shared universe.
Yeah.
And now CW/DC and, you know, whoever else is catching on to that you can have these folks all exist on the same planet and not necessarily have to interact with each other every moment of every day.
Yeah. And hats off to DC, Warner, CW, all those involved for being able to branch out of that grounded reality kind of base thing that they do in Arrow and going in the same universe, doing the superpowered thing in another show and actually having them interact with each other, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I think the thing with... Well, sorry to cut you off, Chris.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the thing was, and the big mistake that Smallville made in the very beginning was the no flights, no tights idea. They sort of put themselves into a corner immediately saying, okay, we can have superhero sort of activities, but we can't have folks running around in capes and tights and things like that. Of course, they got away from that 360 degrees
Mhm.
Well, that's
eventually.
right.
Yeah,
Well, that's
but-
because the two producers who started it, I
We're
think,
gone at that point, yeah.
yeah, they had that policy, and once they left, the producers who came on board said, I think, realized, oh crap, we've painted ourselves in a corner. That's
Right.
why you got all the superhero-y stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think had they not had that, I think they would have been able to pilot certain things throughout and see, okay, this has legs, this doesn't. Like, I could
Right.
totally see a Justice Society show
Mhm.
in the late 60s, early 70s. I would totally watch that.
And the thing with Smallville is, I think I'm sorry to cut you,
No,
Brett.
go
I
ahead.
just want to say if the original writers stayed on Smallville, it never would have made it to season 10 because the way they talked, I remember back when I was watching season 2, the way they talked was, and they actually said it, Smallville is going to end bad. I remember one of them said that. Clark and Lana don't end up together. Clark goes to Metropolis, becomes Superman. He leaves Smallville behind. That whole thing was squashed, though, because everybody's seen the season finale of the series finale of Smallville. It didn't end bad. It ended very good. And that's because the people who came on said, okay, we're not going to end it bad where Clark is just going to leave Smallville and Lana and go off to Metropolis. We're going to let him go off to Metropolis and have this end at least on a high note.
To those to their defense, the original writers
Yeah.
or whatever, I don't think anybody could have imagined at that point when they introduced the show that it was going to last 10 seasons.
Oh, no, not at
No.
all.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
I think maybe they thought if it was really successful, it might go 5,
Yeah.
and
I
that's probably why their thinking was finite like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they were attempting to almost make a 90210 superhero show, or conversely, a Degrassi Junior High superhero show. You know, that they were trying to make it, they were trying to make these character-driven stories, but then they were also trying to couch that within the idea of one of their characters had superpowers. But, you know, with that thing, you have taken the most inherently super character ever created, and you limit him, which, you know, is why they eventually, and because the writers left, but I think even if the original writers had stayed, they would have eventually had to figure out that, you know, we're going to have to do something here. He's got access to, you know, 90% of his powers short of flight. Now, we may have been spared the whole red, blue blur thing. But,
oh, please. That was,
you know, we may have gotten to Superman a little earlier, or some version of that. But
I love how they
yeah.
changed it. I love how they changed it to the blur when the red and blue disappeared and you went to that black shirt
black
with
suit.
the trench coat. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, ultimately, that as much as Marvel showed that you could do a shared universe, you definitely have to give credit to Smallville, and even to a lesser extent, shows like Supernatural and things like that you can have that sort of genre-esque thing going on within a universe, and it can still be somewhat based in reality.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think both of those shows actually really exemplify that.
Right.
But going back to Flash, I know John and I at least saw this. I don't know if Gordon, if you saw it, the full 5 minute. You mentioned it, so I'm sure.
Yes, I did.
The 5 minute one, yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, I was a little, to use your word, Brand, I was a little underwhelmed by
Really?
the short one, just because he was
no.
so the short one.
Yeah.
No, the little one, because he was so it solidified that thing that I think the guy's too young.
Yeah. No,
he feels kid flashy to me. Now the 5 minute thing,
amazing.
took it away, sold me completely.
Chris, let me explain to you. Basically, they took some cues out of the way the New 52 Flash kind of pointed at. They start off with No. Calm down. The good parts.
Oh, okay.
They show his mom.
There's a good part of the New 52. Okay.
No, listen. There is.
I know. I just love doing that. But go ahead.
They reference his mom dying. They show Professor Zoom, or whatever you want to call him, in a blur as the killer.
Oh my God! No, I gotta watch this.
They introduce Weather Wizard, full blown.
Now that looks like you.
Full blown Weather Wizard using.
Don't
his
call
powers.
him Weather Wizard though, but
no.
They call him by his
Martin.
Martin. Yeah, they call him Martin.
Yeah, they show. Obviously, they show the speed and everything. They show us again how he got hit by lightning that we saw at the end of the Arrow episodes. We get reintroduced to the Star Labs lab techs that have been on a couple of episodes of Arrow. They show the police connection, all this stuff. I mean, I was blown away by this trailer, quite honestly. It was everything I had hoped it would be. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but
I have to
no,
watch
like
it,
I said, it changed my mind immediately.
Yeah.
I was already looking forward to Flash. Flash was I skipped out on Arrow, and now I regret it. I'm gonna go back and I'm not watching season 1 like everybody told me. I'm not gonna watch it, but I'll watch season 2, and I'll catch up. I gotta catch up with Supernatural too, man. I hear that series is going really well right now, also. So.
I think you will.
What's the laugh? Wait, John, why'd you laugh?
Supernatural's in season 10. I think it's probably going to be canceled soon.
Well, it's in season
actually, no.
It's renewed for season 10, for next year.
Okay, it will be in season 10.
Because it's Tuesday nights. He just came out with most of the network schedules.
Right.
Flash is the lead into Supernatural on Tuesday nights. Now, some S.H.I.E.L.D. just got moved up to
9
p.m. Central. So 9 your time.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern.
9, yeah.
Yeah, which is that kind of worries me.
Flash, though, I'm interested in watching a little bit more than even Arrow, because Flash is a character I grew up with a little bit more. Green Arrow was like one of the side characters in my eyes. I always liked Flash. I like obviously Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, stuff like that. So with Flash, I don't even need a trailer for me to say I would watch that. Maybe I won't catch it on TV, but I know for a fact CW stream all their their post shows on Hulu or it's somewhere. So if I can't get it on the night it comes out, I will catch it on Hulu probably.
Yeah, you can get it next day on the CW.com or Hulu.
There you go.
Or Hulu.
Exactly.
I'm telling you though, Chris, once you watch this trailer, you're not going to be able to wait for it. I mean, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Very excited.
I don't want to jump ahead because I think this is part of the agenda, but I watched another trailer that I'm actually excited for. And is it? No, it's not on the agenda.
No, the Constantine one?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not on the agenda.
I watched it to show Michael, and I watched it and I was like, this could be good.
Yeah, actually, I saw it earlier in the week, and I was the same way because, I still have the stigma of the Keanu Reeves Constantine in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, please, I didn't watch that movie because of that.
and the stigma of the New 52 bringing Constantine out of Vertigo into the main universe,
Well, John, you might be very happy soon because we were talking today, a few of us, about nobody noticed this except Jay actually so far. I didn't even notice this. The Future's End weekly series that's going on right now, right, John?
It just started last week.
Yeah, but John's not here.
John, are you there?
No, I must have lost John. Let me try to add him back.
Yeah, because I see a phone ringing. I need to tell him this because you saw what I'm talking about, though, Brent, right?
From last week's?
From Group Me. No, we were talking about...
No, I haven't seen anything from Group Me today.
Oh, okay, so then you'll like this little epiphany, too.
Okay.
I'll get... Chris, I guess your talk of Constantine must have offended John, because I still see him ringing on my end.
Yeah, he's
mine
still ringing. Yeah, he must be having connection problems. While we're trying to get John back, I actually liked the Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves, but that's only because I had never read anything Constantine up to that point, had no frame of reference whatsoever, so I just viewed it as a movie You know.
I never read Constantine, but Keanu Reeves outside of The Matrix.
See, I like some of his other movies. I like Speed, and I like Point Break.
Speed
and
was
stuff like
good.
that.
Speed was good. Point Break, I'll give you that too. But I don't know. With Constantine, is like I know what he looks like. At least I've seen him on the comic cover. So it's like seeing Keanu Reeves look like that. No, that's not Constantine. No.
Yeah, John, do we have you back?
Apparently, a felon couldn't get up.
So Chris,
John,
he wanted to tell you something.
Yeah, the epiphany was, Future's End, right? That's going on in the weekly series right now.
Yeah.
It's called The New 52 Future's End. Not DC Comics. Yeah, not DC Comics Future's End. The New 52 Future's End. Meaning the end towards the future of the New 52.
I truly hope that's right because I've said...
I do
forever,
too. I hope.
Yeah. I've said forever that this is an alternate Earth.
Yeah,
and
that's what it's pointing to.
Yeah, this isn't the DC Earth. For some reason, our focus just got turned the wrong direction.
Right, exactly. That's what's happening.
We're eventually going to go back.
Well, back, but not like it. What a lot of predictions are is by the end of Future's End, by next March, there's talk that by September of the following year, the big event thing will be the old DCU in a way, but with a mix of the new DCU. So like right now, that's why the titles still say the New 52. So I'm wondering if by the end of Future's End, and I know, like I was saying, Jay from Comic Frontline, he was saying that this could be the end of the New 52. That's why it's Future's End. The future of the New 52 will end. And like you said, John, our direction or our point of view will turn, or it will do exactly what happened on Flashpoint, only to a lesser extent, and change the DC Universe once again.
Well, my major fear is that once they kill off the New 52, they'll just go to another Earth and do it again.
Then that's even worse. That means every 2 or 3 years we'll be going through another universe.
Right. That's why I hope they just go back to DC Earth proper and go, okay, we're going to pick up 5 years later. Or
I still can't see them doing that. I can see them doing something like they did after Crisis, where they combine, basically elements of both.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're going to combine elements. Like Superman will go back to the way he was, except maybe the Kents will still be dead, or he won't be married anymore, something like that.
I don't know, but all of the weekly series in the whole Future's End thing ends in March, so we'll see when that comes around.
Well,
really
of course.
What, John?
No, go, John.
I was just going to say, of course, that's just another reason to reboot everything back to one.
True.
Exactly.
Very true.
And what I was going to say is, what I'm very happy about is they're not doing 52 issues for all 3 weekly series. The only one that's getting 52 is Batman.
Yeah.
And honestly, Batman never changed. From what little I kept up with the New 52, Batman was essentially Batman.
The only thing they changed was that Tim Drake was in the New 52 was never called Robin. He was always called Red Robin.
Robin.
But that's not Batman though. That's still
that's the Batman family.
Yeah, which sort of makes me go, every time I hear Red Robin, it just makes me think of the stupid restaurant chain anyway. So.
Yeah, like Batman and Robin are facing like the Joker. The Joker says, "Hey, Red Robin, can you get me a super deluxe cheeseburger, medium rare?"
Exactly.
You kind of feel like Red Robin's main villain would be the Condiment King or something.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the New 52, Chris, you'll find this interesting. They released a preview of issue 32 where Jeff Johns and John Romita Jr. take over.
I don't want to hear it.
No, listen. First of all, the art doesn't look as bad as we thought.
It's John Romita Jr. There's bad or there's just really bad.
No, because I don't know if it's the inker is different.
I think the inker is saving him.
Yeah, but it looks
really.
Yeah, it looks a lot cleaner than what we've seen from him.
You have a link.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Also, there is a newspaper clipping on the wall. He's back at the Daily Planet.
Oh, okay, so that's a start.
Yeah. And there's a newspaper clipping on the wall that shows Superman in red trunks as kind of saying that at one point, even though we didn't see it, that the New 52 version had the traditional
That
costume.
makes no sense. Brent,
I
that
know.
makes no sense
I
because
know. It could be an art mistake, but it's there.
It has to be because years ago, I mean, we got when Superman premiered, and then it took us right to present day. There was no time for red underwear unless it was a joke.
They also referenced the death and return of Superman, though, in those same newspaper clippings.
This is what I'm talking about. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was about to say, I wonder if this is DC's way of, because DC likes to throw in like references to other stories in its mainstream thing. So I wonder how much of that is just them kind of prodding the old school fans, like, ha ha, look, see Superman in trunks. We're not going to go back, but hey, because aren't they planning like a big Doomed series where
it's going on right now?
The crap out of them?
Yeah,
it's happening right now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't
Brant,
understand what.
Brant, I'm looking at that picture. It looks like they just made the belt really wide.
No,
that doesn't look like underwear.
No, not the.
Wait, what? It
Did
does
you go
look
to the
like
preview
underwear.
pages? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the preview page. Never mind, I'm on the preview page now. And you're right, the inker is definitely saving Ramita so far.
Yeah.
He's taking all the rough edges out and making it more circular.
Yeah, there was a whole
squared.
article on Bleeding Cool about the trunks. They zoomed in and everything. So
my less concern is about the outfit and why Doomsday has just become kind of the Deus Ex Machina of this whole thing. Every time we need someone smacked around, we call in Doomsday.
yeah, I agree.
It's supposed to be kind of a one-off thing,
It's like what Marvel's doing with Carnage, I feel. It's like, you said Doomsday back after the death of Superman, and it meant something, because Doomsday was every 5 years. You had Superman, you had the death of Superman, then you had Superman, Hunter Prey, I believe, was next with Doomsday, and that's where Superman finds him off in space, and that's how Cyborg Superman came back. Then you had Doomsday somehow on Earth. I know Lana was involved. Oh God, why can't I remember that story arc? And it involved Lana's baby.
It was bad.
Yeah, probably because it was real bad and you blotted it out. But
no, it was good. I loved
think
that.
it was she was.
That was a good miniseries. It was Lana's baby being born. That was
okay.
where Lana's baby was born. I remember that. And
I
he was
think
dying.
it was when she was wanting LexCorp, wasn't it?
No, this is before that. Way before that.
Okay.
Way before even Pete became vice. Way back. Way
back. Okay.
Yeah, it's like she was having the baby. There was complications, and she needed Clark as Superman to fly the baby somewhere. And that's when Brainiac, who was controlling Doomsday, attacked Superman. And then he lost control of Doomsday. Doomsday went crazy. Superman threw him into some machine, which sent him into like some type of a particle universe. And I don't even remember. I know he died in the Imperex war, or the War of the Worlds, or whatever it was called back then. And then they killed him, and then they cloned him.
Interesting.
But beside the point, before that, before the cloning and the BS, Doomsday was so far apart, it was an impact. When you said Doomsday, it meant something.
Yeah.
When you said Carnage after Maximum Carnage, it meant something because they didn't show him every single month.
Right.
You say Carnage now, there's miniseries, there's at least 3 a year. Doomsday, since Villains Month, we saw the one shot. We've seen hints of Doomsday. We saw him in Superman Wonder Woman already, and now we're seeing it in this series. It doesn't have an impact anymore. And before the New 52 started, there was a Doomsday War.
And he's been on the cartoon speaking, which, kind of ruins everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That was it. Oh, I forgot about that. Please don't remind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was part of that really cool Justice Lord story, and
well, yeah, of course. But
and I think the only reason they had him speak was that that way it made it all the more shocking when parallel Superman lobotomized him with heat vision.
Yeah,
and he gave Michael Ironside something to do for 5 minutes.
I feel like Doomsday's the kind of character we don't need background on at all.
No, he's a force of nature.
Yeah.
Of nature, he comes in, he destroys everything in his path, and he's either killed or, kills.
Yeah.
And continues on, one or the other. Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like the impact of Doomsday is not the same anymore.
No, it's not at all.
It's old now. It's old news, and I guess I'm the only one that read the Doomsday War. But since that point, actually, where they had a Doomsday for every one of the Reign of the Supermen. Like they had a Cyborg Doomsday, it was that bad. It was so bad. It ended on a like really kind of. They had an intelligent Doomsday. Okay, I at that point I was like, okay, I thought J. Mike Straczynski's Grounded was bad. This definitely was worse.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now with the New 52, it's like you have a chance to kind of rectify certain things, and no, you're making it worse. Yeah. Please stop.
Speaking of Carnage, did you guys see, I mean, this is just a total rumor, but did you guys see the rumor that Jim Carrey was possibly up for the role in a future movie?
Yeah, that wasn't a rumor, that's true.
Why?
Oh, God. That screams of Batman and Robin to me. Sorry.
Yes, it does. It'd be like, what's it going to be now?
Or Batman Forever, rather.
Yeah. Symbiote-gasm. Instead of joy-gasm, it'll be symbiote-gasm or something.
Good Lord. No. I'm sad now. But anyway, going back to Arrow real quick, this actually kind of spoils it a little bit for me, considering what happened at the end of the previous episode. But John Barrowman becomes a regular for season 3.
Remind me who he plays?
Indeed.
Malcolm Merlin.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Doesn't matter who he plays. He's John Barrowman. He's on television. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, but for me, it was questionable whether he was still alive at the end of the last episode I watched. So.
You should know you can't keep a good villain down.
I know. Go ahead, Gordon.
Yeah, and they do a very clever. They handle it in a very clever way.
Cool.
To say any more would spoil it.
Nice. That's all I ask. So I mean, yeah, that's cool. He needs those kind of characters in there. And like you said, John, he's a great actor. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's John Barrowman for one thing, but just the fact that he ended up being such an integral part of the mythos of this now. Mm-hmm. He was kind of a one-off.
Right.
Just this, the best friend's dad, and he's quickly become, an integral piece of the entire mythos. So,
yeah,
it's kind of almost like you can't not have him there all the time now.
Yeah, I agree.
And at the very least, in the background, pulling the strings, if not, right up front.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way he was. Well, he wasn't pulling strings, but he was in the background a lot this season.
Right.
Which was really cleverly done. I think they saved his appearances for when it really mattered. When you agree, Gordon?
Yes. And I think, having seen the season finale, they did a really good job of wrapping up plot strands. And I think after you do the Arrow season finale episode, mm-hmm. I think they've set him up as a potential part of the season 3 big bad. And that's all I'm going to say.
Nice. I'm looking forward to watching that later tonight.
Yeah. I need to get caught up because I'm like a season behind.
Well, now you have all summer to get caught up so you can be ready for next season.
There you go. Perfect. Except for all the things that are coming on this summer I have to watch now.
That's true.
Like Agent Carter.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad they went ahead with that.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was starting in the summer.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
They are taking.
I think it's a mid-season replacement.
Yeah, I think it's. So. I know it's in between.
They're taking AOS's spot.
Yeah.
So I would assume it's during the time that AOS isn't using it. So maybe the summer or
during the holiday break or whatever.
During the holiday break or whatever.
Yeah. Either way, I think it's really smart.
Yeah, I'm psyched either way about doing it, saying it.
I think it's really smart to do that, though, because it's still Marvel property and on the same night, time slot, and all that stuff. So.
And honestly, it's a perfect thing, if nothing else, even if it only lasts, one season or even just 13 episodes. There's a whole lot there that's going to fill in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
Minor spoiler for people, we see some old Howling Commando, early S.H.I.E.L.D. tech that pops up.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And to see that tech being, developed and used in its prime, that I just find that concept extremely exciting.
Yeah. And I have to say, I don't know if you guys have read, I know Chris has, Original Sin #1 tossed a little nod into some of that classic stuff too. It had Nick Fury, original Nick Fury, with Cap, Wolverine, and Black Widow flying around in one of the flying cars, just like Coulson had. Yeah, so it was a nice little
Lola
throwback.
It's a good murder mystery book, in my opinion. It just happens that it's going to cross over to a bunch of other books and impact a bunch of other superheroes. But beside that, I mean, it's a good
and
murder
take forever to finish and probably be wiped away in a year.
But John, you give them too much credit. 6 months.
Okay.
Axis. Axis is coming.
Yeah,
that's true.
Seriously, it is good though. That first issue at least was really good.
Yeah.
If you like,
but Brant, one thing I learned with Marvel. I mean, I haven't read the past two events.
I know. First and last issues are really good. The middle's kind of eh.
No, actually, the first couple of issues are really good, and then it's like a firecracker. It fizzles out at the last couple of episodes.
I don't know. Infinity, the last issue was really good, so we'll see.
Infinity led into Inhuman. My problem with that is Inhuman's taking forever to come out.
It's only been a month and maybe a week since the first issue came out.
So. Month, 2 weeks, and a couple of hours.
Whatever. Anyway.
Well,
picky.
Speaking of picky.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, getting away from this particular topic before a melee begins, for a whole different melee.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Not an imaginary story. Not an alternate universe.
Why am I scared?
Gordon Jamowski's favorite actor is coming to the Marvel Universe as Gambit.
Why?
Why?
I will endorse this movie, but only on one condition, and that is there is a scene within the first 10-15 minutes of the film where Gina Carano kicks the bejesus out of Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Now, the worst part of this, because I didn't know about the second part of the story, the first part is obviously Channing Tatum is Gambit. He's going to appear in X-Men Apocalypse. The part I didn't know, which really made me sad, was that's before appearing in his own solo spin-off film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling sick.
Really?
As well you should. I mean, first off, the picture they chose for him. You've got skinny, svelte, as Goldmember would say, toit Gambit here. And you've got chunky, fat face. Looks like he ate Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum.
Yeah, it's bad pictures. Yeah, definitely. For one, a Gambit movie, I like the character, but a Gambit movie, really?
Yeah, no doubt.
That's like the Gambit comics.
With Fox and with Sony, I kind of get the feeling that they want that Marvel money, but what they don't. So I think what they're trying to do is to grab as many of their particular franchise as possible. And and by the way, the head of Fox recently said Fantastic Four and X-Men films take place in discrete universes.
Yeah, indeed.
Discrete IN.
Well, the sad thing is the only connection between Channing Tatum and Gambit is that Channing Tatum owns a bar in New Orleans. That's it. He's not Cajun. He's not going to be able to do the accent.
And I wish he'd go back and run his bar in New Orleans,
Yeah, indeed. And stay off the screen.
They have every single X-Men ever known in their library.
Right.
To choose from, and they choose Gambit to do a solo movie with.
Oh, yeah. Well,
on the plus... to push the contract. That's all they're doing.
On the plus side, this makes Taylor Kitsch look really good right now.
It does. And that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the dude's a good actor. I'll give him that. But that accent was horrid.
Yeah, it was.
Gambit, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this except for
Yeah.
I agree with Gordon.
In a related topic, but unrelated in a way, you heard that Hugh Jackman kind of backtracked on his words about being Wolverine.
Yeah, because he had said he was done, and now he's like, well, I could come back.
Yeah, he backtracked. He's like, "Oh no, you misquoted me. I'm done for now. I'm not done forever."
I'm sorry. He's going to pull a Robert Downey Jr. pretty soon here. You know, he's going to eventually get too old to be running around with his shirt off and little pieces of wire hanging out of his hands.
He's also currently getting treated for skin cancer. So
yeah.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, he's in his late 40s now.
Yeah. So.
You know, I mean, he was the oldest. I was watching Graham Norton the other day, and it had him, McAvoy, and the guy playing Magneto. And he's the old guy there. You know, he's the oldest one of the younger group, you know, so he's in trouble.
Yeah, he actually is 45 right now. So.
Yeah, so.
But by the time X-Men Apocalypse comes out, he's going to be like 48.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, once you get in your 50s, it's going to be a little harder to bounce back from that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what would be...
I was about to say, but the advantage is, you know, when Fox does that Old Man Logan film...
Damn it!
Yeah,
that was
he'll be
exactly
perfect.
what I was just going to say, Gordon. How do you do that?
It's a talent.
That way.
That actually is a really good idea, though.
Send them off. The old
That
man
would be a great movie, though.
I agree, if they do it justice.
If they do it right. That would be that'd be a great movie.
If Marvel Studios did that movie, I'd be all behind it.
Oh, heck yeah.
Fox
If Sony does
behind
it, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Sony can't do it because they don't have the rights to the Hulk.
They can change characters.
They can borrow the Hulk for a day.
Oh God, please! What are they gonna put in the Hulk's place? That was the whole point of the series.
Doomsday, of course.
No, they have.
Oh yeah, why not? Yeah, it'll work.
They have the Thing.
Yeah, they can take the Thing.
Oh.
They can say the Thing got survived and got really old.
Okay, guys, knowing Fox, their Old Man Logan is going to be Hugh Jackman on a walker saying, "You crazy kids, get off my lawn,
my lawn or I'll snick you."
Oh, shoot. Anyway.
Would have been a good send-off, though.
Speaking of Fox, Alien Nation makes its return to Fox.
Who cares?
I don't.
Can I say what?
I did a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's fine, John. I can.
Well, you know, it's
an
'80s thing. It was kind of a palate cleaner after Channing Tatum, but
so you're a fan of the show then?
I was. Well, I'll preface it. I was a fan back in the '80s. Now, when they tried to bring it back on Syfy,
Yeah.
when Syfy was still the Sci-Fi Channel, that didn't work out so well. But it is an interesting concept of benevolent alien race living amongst humans and the interaction thereof. Now, you also have to remember in 1988, this was set back in the then future time of 1991.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember they had Vice President Lewinsky?
Yes, exactly.
I forgot about that.
Well, I think that was in the reboot, but you know, but it had some interesting things, and you know, you have to kind of love anybody that has a character named Sam Francisco.
I don't know. I tried to watch it in syndication, obviously.
The reboots, or the newer one, or the old one?
No, the old one. It was like the mid-'90s. I guess I watched it in syndication.
Yeah.
And I tried to get into it, and it was so boring to me.
It had been sanitized by then, because it was a Showtime show to start out with.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was first a movie with James Caan and Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah.
And then, a really good movie, well worth renting. When they did the show, it was on Fox, and it was around the time when Fox was kind of starting up, so they were a little bit more experimental. But it's one of those, and it's one of those shows that really shows its age.
Yeah.
Now it really does. It's very creaky, and I would liken it. Alienation was to the late '80s what Almost Human is to this year.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good analogy.
Yeah, it could just be my preferences too, because I'm not really, I could never get into Farscape either, and it's the same, writer behind it.
Yeah.
And Defiance, which he was also on, I was kind of back and forth on, so it could just be my sensibilities don't match with that kind of concept or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of about Defiance, but I worship at the altar of Farscape, so
yeah.
That's another reason why I kind of very much get into it.
Yeah, I understand that. So what are they doing? Are they doing it as a movie or a TV show now?
They're doing it as a series again, I believe.
Okay.
And hopefully avoiding all the mishaps of the previous attempt.
Yeah.
Which, keeping it off of sci-fi would be its first smart move. But...
Well, I mean, the one thing I'll say is, Fox has grown a lot since then.
Yeah.
And they've done other sci-fi kind of shows, like X-Files, Fringe, stuff like that. So,
right.
I'll give it a shot.
I think if they bring the Fringe sensibility to this, I think you might really embrace it, because it's it has the potential to be that kind of thing, almost like a science fiction procedural,
Right.
Because they are detectives and they, they're dealing with, they're homicide detectives dealing with murders within the alien culture mostly.
Yeah.
Or crimes within the alien cultures mostly. So you do end up getting a lot of the mix of, it's either alien on alien crime, or you get the bigoted human situation, or, weird scientific stuff. And you kind of get this different mix, so it has the potential with someone smart writing it.
Yeah.
That it could be really good. Like if, I can never pronounce his first name, but if O'Brien, writes it and sticks with it.
Oh, O'Bannon?
Yeah, or O'Bannon.
Yeah.
For some reason I know it's pronounced rock, but when I look at it, I just have some sort of mental block on how to say it. But, I think if he sticks with it and nurtures it the way that he stuck with and nurtured Farscape, I think it does have the potential of kind of being, very much like an Alien CSI.
Okay. Cool. But speaking of aliens, as we were talking about this off air, aliens of a different sort. The artist behind Aliens, H.R. Geiger, has passed away at age 74. So.
As Brent announces that in baseball stadium.
I know, with the echo.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have a moment of silence? And not to be sacrilegious or irreverent, but as I mentioned when I first heard it on Facebook or in our little discussion here, I honestly thought he died decades ago. I really did, because he's so, after the big splash that he made in Alien, and after a few subsequent things, he honestly disappeared off the radar.
Mm.
Yeah.
The artistic radar, and obviously off the, Hollywood radar.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
I have no comment either, because I didn't even know he was still alive either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was moved by his death, obviously, but I know he didn't do a lot recently, except more in the artistic realm. So it's kind of like it sounds flip. I mean, I'm sorry he's dead, but I think it's also hard too, because his creation of the alien was so damn distinct.
Yeah.
And I wonder. I think I'm tempted to say I thought he did some work for Prometheus, but I'm probably wrong.
Mm.
I think they did. They do reference it in the one article that I have here. They did things for that. He did a little bit of stuff for Poltergeist 2, for Species.
Yeah.
Something called the Well, he also did for Aliens 3, actually. I should also mention that.
Yeah. It looks like the stuff, the ships and stuff that they used based on the original designs in Prometheus, they credited him with the original designs for that movie. Yeah. So that's what it was.
And he did have his own museum in his native Switzerland. So, he didn't fall off the face of the earth, obviously. He was doing things in his own country. But from a Hollywood standpoint, he sort of, wasn't that visible for quite a long time.
Yeah. So, it's sad, but it seems like he lived a full life, so.
Yeah. I mean, won a visual effects Oscar for his work on Aliens, rightly so.
Yeah.
So,
wow, it looks like he died from injuries suffered in a fall.
Oh my, I didn't know that. I thought he fell downstairs.
Wow. Sad.
Which makes it even sadder.
Yeah.
You never want to hear of any old person falling downstairs, but especially someone living in a foreign country you don't know the medical facilities of.
I think in Switzerland they got
it's probably good.
System,
they do have the Swiss Army and all that.
Yeah, yeah. I think their economy is pretty good too.
Yeah, so. I think they're all right, but
Yeah.
And they have really good cheese.
And really good cheese.
They do.
They're really good at knives and cheese, and but
and secret bank accounts.
Exactly. And electronica music.
And chocolate.
And chocolate. And bricks of chocolate. But yeah, it would have been cool to kind of see in this guy's brain because, wow, he had
a special brain.
To see his work is incredible, or was incredible.
Yeah, very creative.
I open Brant's eyes to his work now.
You open Brant's eyes to you didn't know who he was 5 minutes ago.
Oh, shit. Moving away from that, though.
Running away from that.
Of course, moving away now.
Running away from that towards Transformers.
Yeah, still speaking of science fiction in a way.
It's a lateral move, I guess, but still.
Well, it's science fiction. It ties in. I don't know why this is like the focus of this particular article that we read, because it's like one tiny little mention in the trailer. But Transformers 4 trailer tries to explain the science of Transformers, and basically...
Oh, please don't.
No, it's a new trailer, but all they say is they're made up of unstable atoms.
Yeah, which, I guess that's science, but not really.
I kind of like the whole unstable atoms bit when Stan Lee first used it to explain the Fantastic Four's uniforms.
Yeah. We use unstable atoms, so the Invisible Woman doesn't have to run around naked all the time.
Again, like with Doomsday, we don't need an explanation as to how the Transformers exist.
We need to know why if they could change all the time, in concept, they are autonomous robot forms.
Right.
Why they always stuck with the same stupid car.
Exactly.
Or truck or whatever.
I want an explanation of how Michael Bay became an...
All right.
It's like you're dealing with a plane guy. You have a plane guy shooting at you. Become a plane guy and go get him. Don't be a semi-truck and drive where he can just shoot you from the sky.
That is true. I mean,
think about it.
They could scan different forms and change that.
Yeah, these are not robots in disguise. These are robots right in the middle of the damn road.
Oh shoot! But still, I'm still excited about this because it looks a lot. I mean, it's taken place so many years.
I'm excited that Shia LaBeouf went away.
Well, true. Yeah, you got Mark Wahlberg, who is more action oriented.
Yeah.
So that's going to add an element. It's some years in the future where they find Optimus Prime, so he's not been around. So it's kind of like they've kind of disappeared from view, and there's some new threat and all that. Yeah.
They know Transformers.
Yeah.
Which is the thing that got me, because Wahlberg says in the clip, we found a Transformer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it takes place a few years from
Right.
the last films.
Yeah, so it's the thing. The world knows Transformers, or at least some redneck who runs a junk shop in the middle of BFE, Kansas, or wherever he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He knows what a Transformer is.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it looks good still, so we'll see.
It does. Kind of. There are parts of it. I'm like, how in the other movies it was always, Megan Fox running after Shia LaBeouf. Oh, I don't want to leave my girlfriend. I don't want to leave my boyfriend. Whatever.
Right.
This one girl is extremely fixated on her dad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't want to leave my dad. Your dad can probably take care of himself.
Yeah. I do like, somebody said in the comments of that article, he said, well, at least it's not midichlorians.
Midichlorians, yeah. That was the first comment I saw. I started laughing my head off.
You don't need to explain every detail. It's suspension of disbelief,
Well, you've got a guy in the still picture. You've got a robot smoking a cigar.
Right.
Which is ostensibly a metal cigar, which means it's part of his body.
Yeah.
So, if that doesn't pull out suspension of disbelief for you.
Right. Or walking, talking, transforming robots.
Well, there
from
is
an
that.
alien planet,
Yeah, here's a question I have that's science-based. Why the hell did you keep Shia LaBeouf in for 3 frickin' movies? What were you thinking?
It's what we call a stupid contract, actually.
Yep.
Either that or he was just waiting for the Nymphomaniac movie to come up, and then he could run away.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And don't forget Megan Fox.
Well, she...
they just moved her over to Turtles.
Well, and
don't even bring that horrible movie up. Don't even.
And she, of course, told Michael Bay off, which either... Apparently, since he moved her over to Turtles, obviously didn't hurt his feelings that much.
Right.
No, they just didn't sleep together for a little while. And
I was about to say, it probably turned him on a little bit. And
it could be that she was contracted to do the third Transformers film, and they just kind of transferred that over to Turtles.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Well, actually, Bay a couple of months ago got a lot of attention because he was doing. Have you guys heard of TED Talks?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
he's doing
I
this.
love TED Talk.
He was doing this TED Talk, and his teleprompter wasn't working, and he very publicly just messed up his speech and ended up storming off the stage.
Good.
Yeah,
because Michael Bay is a frickin' hack.
He couldn't speak off the cuff, which,
Yeah.
That's bad. That means he needs somebody to fight for him.
Worries me more than a little bit.
Yeah. No kidding.
Telling you guys, the Turtle movie, is gonna be horrible. 1, maybe 2 stars at most. I've just got that feeling. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong.
You're
but
giving
I got
it
that
stars at all?
I'm
being nice. I'm honestly being nice because Kevin Eastman is actually backing the movie up. If he wasn't backing it up, I'd give it nothing.
I'm about to say I think Eastman and Laird. Yeah. Eastman and Laird are probably, because they created the characters, they're probably getting something at the back end, but I gotta back Chris on this. This is looking like a frickin' train wreck.
I'm sorry, Kevin Eastman let Julie Strain go. He's obviously out of his mind.
I just can't like this movie, and every time I say it's gonna be horrible, I've gotten attacked on Facebook so far. A few people on Twitter have messaged me about how the movie's going to be good. You can't judge it by a teaser trailer. Brand said the same thing, and I'm telling you, you don't need more than the trailer to see this movie is a train wreck.
Well, dude, I'll give you one better. Tell people that you don't get the fervor over Frozen, then you'll get attacked.
But, I agree with that, though. I don't think you can judge it just by the trailer.
You can't, but
Brant,
Shrek.
Yeah.
Brant, the whole point of a teaser trailer or a trailer is that you can judge a movie. and I'm going to say, I am going to back Chris here 100%. Just based on that trailer, I think it's going, I hope, it is going, I predict it is going to fail. and all the fanboys are going to be like, oh no, Michael Bay, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's going to stink because I think people can see crap coming a mile away.
Yeah,
maybe so, but I'm not
it.
as hateful on the Transformers movies as most.
I'm not hateful on the Transformers.
What?
I've never watched them to be hateful on them. But this is look.
No, I understand.
Yours. This is mine.
No, I understand, Chris. I do. I get it. Because the first G.I. Joe movie hurts my feelings. I understand.
Oh, don't even bring that up. It hurts me, and I love G.I. Joe.
I know. I understand. I'm just saying, as far as Michael Bay goes, I'm not as hateful towards all the stuff that everybody hates on his movies for. So
I don't hate him for the stuff. I hate him for the way this movie is. It's this movie.
I know. For
actually,
me, and I'm a big.
Can we move on? Can we move on?
Let me just say this. I'm a big Turtle fan too, and there are parts of this that are really good. I think he's got the characterization down.
Johnny Knoxville is Leonardo, dude.
God, I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, but I really wish Ron were here.
Yeah. Let's let this one go, guys. And move along.
It would just been nice to get my
you
point
guys are going to be
whatever. Let's move on.
You guys are going to come to blows.
Usually John and I are the bickering ones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So real quick, Gotham is going to be on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Just in case nobody knew. So that's it's leading off the week. So they must have a lot of faith in this show.
Yeah, they must. Although I think it's justified, but. We did have a little discussion on this, and you'll have to go over to
Chris's It's a Podcast, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to go over to Chris's It's a Podcast to hear our little discussion on it.
It was an awesome discussion,
I'll just say one thing about Turtles, and then no one gets. I'll say one thing about Turtles. No one gets to say anything about it. They don't look like turtles. Okay, moving on now.
All right. So, staying in the Batman realm, even though we did talk about this real quick, I wanted to get Gordon's opinion on this because I know Chris and I have talked about it on the live show. You and I talked about it on Chris's podcast. Gordon, thoughts on the new Batsuit and Batmobile?
It's kind of gray. There isn't a lot of detail on it. I mean, it's like I can kind of see why Kevin Smith might like it because it's reminiscent of The Dark Knight Returns, but to me it just looks. I'm more impressed that now there's a sad Batman meme that's going around the internet where, Batman's putting stuff on a grill and he's, batting a swing back and forth. But I'm just like, really? That's it?
I still think it could be an unfinished or a prototype or whatever. I think it looks a lot better than we feared, though. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. The only thing I could nitpick was the symbol. I said it could be crunched a little bit.
I said it could be black.
Vertically black.
Right.
That too. It could be black.
I mentioned this, Brant and I mentioned this, and I saw someone had photoshopped a picture of him and Henry Cavill standing back to back.
Yeah.
I will say this, that the outfit makes him much more physically imposing.
Yeah.
Than Henry Cavill. He truly looks like he could kick his butt.
Yeah, but we're talking about Ben Affleck here. I mean, there are things you can do to make him a little bit more buff and intimidating.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, he is a big guy anyway, though. I mean,
he's big.
He played Daredevil. We saw he can be fit when he.
Right, he's a tall guy and he's
a beefy guy,
relatively athletic.
Yeah. So we'll see. But speaking of that movie, something that made me sad about it again. There's an article.
Don't say it.
No, there's an article where somebody interviewed Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, he said it.
Yeah, I didn't read the article, but I saw the.
Yeah, about Lex Luthor. And here's my concern. Jesse Eisenberg seems to have no clue who Lex Luthor is.
Oh.
He's just playing him as a character, and he kind of double talks his way through this. He says, I'll pull out little snippets. Let's see. I don't know the history as well as the people making the movie, which, good lord. So I guess it's up to them to figure out how much they want to separate from previous incarnations, blah, blah, blah. But I'll treat it like its own role. He says, so I'll just do it as a character, same way I did, The Double, which is a smaller movie, but you just got to treat it like a character.
Yeah. Honestly, how do you... Okay, I can understand him not knowing the nuances and, backstory and stuff of Lex Luthor. But how do you exist on planet Earth without at the very least knowing a little bit about Lex Luthor?
Yeah, I don't know.
Jesse Eisenberg.
It's just, and it could be selective editing on this article. We don't know because it's snippets of a conversation. So I don't want to totally throw it out there that he's completely clueless. But the way these snippets paint it, it's like he doesn't even care. He's just playing it as a character. It's a job. That's what it seems like.
Right.
And it's coming across like that, and it kind of. I don't expect every actor in a superhero movie to know every single story that superheroes have been through. I get that, but
Affleck has the Affleck cape. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, but he's a comic fan.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, if you are in this role, you should research that kind of material. So he should have gone back and read that kind of stuff, or at the very least, ask somebody about some of the characterization so he could absorb that role and that persona, as opposed to just treating it like another role. That's my opinion, though. So.
No, I mean, at least for God's sake,
agree.
watch the first couple of seasons of Smallville.
Exactly.
Watch the 78, the 70 Superman movies, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Watch Adventures of Superman if you're that dim-witted.
Yeah, anything.
Go ahead, Gordon.
Read the Wikipedia entry.
Exactly.
There you go.
Something.
Takes 5 minutes. Do your homework, kid.
Yeah, and honestly, I fear that we're going to get very much that same kind of delivery that we got out of, out of him when out of him when he was, you only deserve a certain percentage of my attention because,
Oh yeah.
I'm the smartest guy in the room and all this other stuff. That kind of very dry sort of, he's trying to come across as arrogant, but he's just kind of coming across as a twit.
Well, that's kind of his real life personality.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that, once again, plus the fact you're sending a character that's supposed to be, okay, even if you play fast and loose with the mythos, he's supposed to be at least 5 years older than Superman.
Yeah.
Really, he's supposed to be about 20 years older than Superman.
Yeah.
But, if you go with the Smallville idea, maybe 10 years older than Superman. So even then, you've got, Henry Cavill. Jesse Eisenberg standing next to him is going to look like a child.
I know, even though they are the same age.
Even though they are the same age, but he'll look like a child standing next to him because he's so physically smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Facially, has always looked like a child. Cut all his hair off, he's going to look like a kid with leukemia. Honestly.
I honestly hope he surprises us. I want this to be good. I really do. So anybody out there that thinks that, we're just hating or whatever, we want to like this movie. We're just very nervous about it. That's all.
Yeah, I want to like it. I trust Cavill for what I've seen in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I trust Affleck for his body of work.
I trust Zack Snyder, the director.
And I trust Zack Snyder for his body of work.
I know you don't.
Not all of his things.
Not all of his
things.
things.
Body of work as a whole.
Yeah. I agree.
So I have a certain amount of trust there, but he has engendered no trust to me whatsoever, and that's what really worries me about this film.
Yeah.
I think that if he does this role as horrible as we think, and the rest of the movie's good, either A, will get a recast, or he'll unfortunately make Lex Luthor so boring, they'll just look over Lex Luthor for the rest of the movie franchise, or at least for a while, and then, again, they'll recast Lex Luthor as somebody else. At this point, shoot, I'd take Kevin Spacey back.
Yeah, I feel like Eisenberg, and I've said this before on the show, and then, Gordon, I'll let you chime in, because I know you want to say something about Zack Snyder. I just feel like he's the kind of actor that it's not a character you're getting. You're getting Jesse Eisenberg. No matter what he does, he will be Jesse Eisenberg in this movie. And,
exactly.
Yeah, that worries
Just like
me.
Megan Fox.
Right. Well, before I make my snarky comment about Zack Snyder, I'm hoping that with Jesse Eisenberg, it's basically a glorified cameo because the name of the
Right.
movie is Batman versus Superman.
But they
So
need an
I-
antagonist.
Yeah, but if they're going to be fighting each other, Eisenberg, if they're smart, and that's assuming a lot of Zack Snyder, they'll make Eisenberg like more in the background than a major player.
Right.
So it's like they'll cut to him going, okay, yeah, let's mess with Superman's head. But I personally think Zack Snyder, in some foreign language, translates into Michael Bay because I don't think anyone has seen Zack Snyder and Michael Bay in the same room together.
Oh my God.
So I'm curious, what movies do you not like of his? Like specifically, like just name a couple.
Okay, well, I didn't like 300.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I did not care too much for Watchmen.
Wow.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I'd like to delve into that further at some point, but okay.
Well, and I really didn't like, and I know I'll get flamed for this, but I really did not care for Sucker Punch.
I'm with you there.
Most
I
people
think,
didn't. Yeah.
I didn't.
I
watch
think
that.
Snyder. I'll say this, and then we can move on. I think Snyder, if you give him a comic and say make the comic, he can do that. But I don't think he's really good. Like, I'd like to see Man of Steel because I'd like to see his take on it. And I know about all the controversy about the neck snap, and I can let that go. I just think he's one of those guys who, if you give him a plan, he will do the plan. But I don't think he brings anything original or interesting to the material. I think he's he's a good copyist, but I don't think I think the best thing he ever directed was a rock video for Paul Westerberg called World Class Fad. I will give you that much. That is a great video. But that's it.
I really like
I think
his stuff.
Man of Steel might surprise you.
Yeah.
Once you see it, or if you see it, I think it might surprise you. Now, I'm with you completely on Sucker Punch. The big problem with Sucker Punch is it was stupid of them to go for a PG-13 rating. That thing should have been the hardest R in the world.
I still liked the movie. It was
okay. It was cool for what it was. But that Sucker Punch is supposed to be one of those ultra-violent kind of movies, And you can't be ultra-violent on a PG-13 budget.
And I'll also say the animated movie Legend of the Guardians of the Owls of Ga'Hoole, I really like that too. So.
Yeah, I have nothing on that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
I never saw that.
Yeah, I like his stuff. So what can I say?
But I think you might be pleasantly surprised. And honestly, I've said this from day one: the neck snapping, utterly justified.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not too concerned about that. Because I know enough of the plot that, it's, if Superman has a no-kill policy, how did he get there? So I can see, I'm willing to see it because it's Superman, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I know most of fandom will argue with me on this one. I think Zack Snyder he's like Michael Bay. He is one of the most overrated directors, and he's less talented than people thinks he is.
Wow.
I would give you some of that, actually. I could stand behind some of that. The thing with Watchmen, he filmed the book. Now, it is a good thing that he filmed the book, because if you ever read any of the thing that came up about Terry Gilliam.
Yes, I have.
And what his,
much worse.
Yeah, what his plans were for Watchmen frightened me.
Mm-hmm.
That would have destroyed that movie for all time if he had tried to pull that on it.
Yeah.
I thought Watchmen, the movie, was pretty good, actually.
No,
it
yeah,
is. No,
he's talking
but
about the
he
original.
filmed it. Yeah, he filmed it. He essentially filmed the book. He filmed the graphic novel almost scene for scene.
Exactly.
And his only mistake there, too, was going for a lighter rating.
Yeah.
Because that could have been much more involved than it was as well.
Sure.
Well, I got I don't know how I did this, but I ended up getting the Canadian uncut, unrated version. So, if you didn't see that, I would definitely say see that.
I've seen the full-on 4-hour version of Watchmen, and the only difference between that and the regular version is that there's even more suck on the screen. I'm sorry, you're not. I'll see Man of Steel. I'll be open because but I'm sorry. Too many people say, "Oh, well, Zack Snyder's a wonderful director." No. If you give him a comic, it's hard to mess up a comic. Yet he managed. Watchmen to me is, except for that introductory little montage at the beginning.
The vignettes were great.
Yeah, that worked. I think the problem was he didn't really give the material. To me, he didn't give it any snap. And most people, when they praise Watchmen, they're praising it. I think they're praising it because it reminds them of the comic, not because of the uniqueness of the material. Like a movie that I'm now starting to get behind after seeing it a couple of times is League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Because now I can see what other
Me too, actually.
people see in it. It's not that bad a movie. But Watchmen, I'm sorry, there is, I'll take the patronizing, well, you're entitled to your opinion, Gordon, but I'm sorry, Zack Snyder is not that great a director.
He's competent. He's not a great director. He's a competent director.
I'll say we'll agree to disagree and move on. All right. So, actually, that's pretty much all I have. Don't know if you guys have anything else. The only other thing that I saw of interest was in August. It seems like Dark Horse's Star Wars run is coming to an end. I mean, I knew
it's got to refer to Disney.
Yeah, we knew it was coming, but I thought we kind of thought they'd have the whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the miniseries are ending in August. The ongoing, it's unclear, the two ongoing series, it's unclear if they're ending with the issues in August or if they're entering the final arc. They leave it kind of ambiguous, but it does say they're tagged with the end of an era. Go ahead, Gordon.
Yeah, I was about to say, with comics, usually there's lead time before a book is published because you need to write it, draw it, ink it, color it, all that other stuff. So I could see where they might be ending miniseries end in August and then setting up the series to end in November, December.
Yeah.
So that way there's a much cleaner transition, and it'll also give Marvel, Disney, Marvel, whoever, time to start writing and creating new Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
Oh, I dare say that's probably already underway.
Oh,
but yeah, I think physically what's going to happen is, even though it says it'll say on the page that it's ending now, but it will physically end. You'll get that last issue in December. Yeah. I think that's the way it's going to play out. And then I believe Disney Marvel is probably already well in the process of writing their first issue, which will probably hit right around January.
Unless they do it this way, where they end everything in August, September, and put out all the trades for those.
Oh yeah,
in the following months to get all those out before the.
But see, I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine Marvel not even Marvel. I just can't imagine Disney not jumping on the thing the minute the contract becomes theirs.
Right.
I can't imagine waiting.
What's that? Chris?
I'm sorry, say again, Chris?
I was saying, why couldn't they leave it with Dark Horse? Why did they have to send it over to Marvel? Why couldn't Dark Horse pay for it?
They want everything under their house so they can control it. They want to control what's put out.
They own it.
Because because they own the Star Wars franchise now.
I'm waiting for Hitler to be part.
they're putting out new movies, so they want to control all the content, and we've already seen stories that say that all new Star Wars content is going to be in continuity tie-in together. So they're probably trying to make it more cohesive, and just like Marvel Studios does with the movies, with the superhero movies. So.
They're making it all one universe.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Mickey Mouse to come out in a Hitler uniform.
I've got some shorts to show you from the 1940s.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't see them pushing. Man, it echoes really bad.
I know, right?
I don't see them pushing real hard to put new stuff out like Dark Horse does, though, because I mean we saw what happened with the Disney comics once they took them from Boom. Every once in a while we'll see a collection, or we see these new miniseries, Figment and Seekers of the Weird or whatever.
Right.
You see that kind of stuff, but it's not like this consistent, torrent of new material coming out of them. And I'm afraid that that's what's going to happen to the Star Wars franchise too. It's going to be like movie tie-in stuff and adaptations and that kind of thing, and nothing concrete like we've gotten from Dark Horse for the past 23 years.
Well, my thought is the fact with 7, well underway now, that they are going to start throwing as much Star Wars stuff as they can at the wall.
That's possible.
To start getting the idea of Star Wars back in the collective consciousness. Mm. Again, of course, it's never been out of the consciousness of certain demographic, us, for example, but, just the general public, to get the idea of Star Wars back out there. That's why you're seeing, the new cartoon. That's why you're seeing, all this stuff, related to that. That's why you're seeing the Marvel Infinity stuff have such a push now, and the fact that they're getting the Star Wars stuff in there. Exactly.
They've got Star Wars Angry Birds out now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I hope they do, and I hope they bring top creative talents to do them. That they can produce the level of quality that Dark Horse has, because
I doubt it. I think they're going to have any creative talent they can get their hands on.
I know, and that's what worries me, because that's Marvel's first take on Star Wars was exactly like that.
Well, look at, we mentioned earlier, John Romita Jr. is over at DC right now. Mm-hmm. John Romita Jr. being the ultimate Marvel guy.
Yeah.
So if Marvel's losing people to other companies like DC, or to go off and do their own little independent thing, that makes me a little worried for the quality of some of the work coming out soon. We haven't seen a Mass Exodus yet, but, the fact that someone like Romita Jr. is gone.
Yeah, but they still have some heavy hitters. They still have Mark Waid, Bendis, so on.
Well, Mark is all over the place, so you can't really count Mark as Marvel.
Keep in mind, for one thing, DC's also losing people as well.
Well, of course.
So, right. And when it comes to Star Wars, I'm sure Disney, if Disney put out a call to anyone who is a name in comics, they will be chomping at the bit to do it. So I'm less concerned with that. Yeah, and also Disney is known for having a nearly anal close to as extremely anal retentive attention to the detail when it comes to franchises that it owns. So I don't think Disney's going to mass produce Star Wars comics. I don't think they'll be as good as Dark Horses, but I think, I don't think they're going to put out unmitigated crap like they did in the 70s.
Well, considering, I was looking at that early first Star Wars cover, and just how badly everybody looked, Darth Vader practically looked like a frog on the cover and everything, so yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on a lot of things. But I think that's going to wrap up all our discussion. We've gone pretty long here. Yeah. Yeah, it should. So before we get out of here, we'll do what we always do and go around the table and see what everybody has coming up, coming out, and going on. Gordon, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, right now I'm currently writing a short story for Airship 27 Productions. Yes, Ron, I'm still working on it. Don't worry. I'm all...
He's lying.
So, well, I'm not doing it right now, obviously, but also a reminder to Ron. At Windy City, you said you had a potential editing project for me, so just giving you a reminder. But hopefully, within the next few months, you'll be seeing some. I'll be having some work published, including a couple of short stories for Pro Se Press, in addition to the New World Navigation anthology, which is an independent anthology. I'm also doing some work for, also working on a couple events for Chicago Nerd Social Club, and I'm also currently seeking freelance full-time employment. So if you know anyone in the Chicago area that can use an online marketing guy, just send them my way. So that's it for me.
Cool. And Chris?
I have a lot of little projects I'm doing. It's a podcast. Episode 5 is by the time this is out, it'll be up. But right now, as we're recording, I actually paused the upload because YouTube is so wonderful and screwed up my upload from the morning. So now I have to finish uploading it now. Comic Frontline is doing a second week for Xenoscope celebration, and there's a reason for that, and there'll be an announcement video for that. Brand, who is going to be my guru and actually partner in something else I'm working on for Frontline. I mentioned that in the podcast. I don't want to give away what I talk about, but if you listen to this week's It's a Podcast, I do an Outside the Pages segment. I'm actually going back to an old talent of mine, and Brand's going to be working with me on that. And suffice to say, it actually has people from Zone 4 on it without giving too much away, right, Brand?
Yep.
And so I'm working really hard on that. Hopefully the morning stream will come back, and just lots of little things here and there. Nothing that I could really promote at this time because I don't want to give too many spoilers away. Let's just say I'm getting back into the writing game. That's a good little way of teasing it.
Cool. John?
Well, strangely enough, with this convention now behind me, I went from having nothing to do to perhaps having too much, and still actively looking for more. As a thing of building this convention, I reconnected with an old friend of comic related named Dave Arhar, who he himself had been out of comics for a little while for a variety of reasons. After a slight discussion and letting him read a few small pieces of my work, he exploded with compliments and decided that it was extremely necessary for us to work together immediately. So
that's awesome.
That will be happening. In addition to that, I've mentioned once or twice before my attempt to find artists for a 12-page steampunk piece called Bound for Pangea Island that was supposed to appear in one of Archaea's steampunk originals anthology series. Well, that fell through repeatedly thanks to the flakiness of young artists in the world. And now I have been coerced into just doing the bloody thing myself. So I will be the complete creative team on that particular book for the 7th installment of that anthology, which will be released in September. So I'm also doing that right now. In addition to that, I have created the barest bones of a coloring portfolio page over on DeviantArt. It's under Monkey Works. That's monkey spelled the regular way, but then works spelled W-E-R-X, where you can check out my coloring things, and if you are, of course, looking for a colorist, you may contact me there. I'm not free, but I can be had. And beyond that, I'm actively looking for some writing gigs. So, if anybody has anybody out there that they know or has some feelers out there, I'm not above using this forum to pimp myself. So, let me know. Other than that, tons of stuff going on with comic related, as always. Putting up a new how-to video every day there that I steal liberally from Facebook. In addition to writing regular articles for, I'm actually stealing from YouTube, rather, not Facebook. But I also steal things from Facebook occasionally. And of course, the 1/3 of these stories, or I try to keep it 1/3 at least of the stories that go up every day on comicrelated.com. And, of course, I am part of the staff at the Derby City Comic Con. So come check me out there on June 28th and 29th. I'll be the one running around behind Chuck trying to keep his head from exploding.
Look for the fedora.
Look for the fedora.
All right. So
I actually just remembered one other thing, Brant, really quick. Okay. I will be at the special New York City Comic Con. I actually got my confirmation this past week. So I will be there representing all three, Zone 4 Podcast, Comic Related, and Comic Frontline. My brother Mike's going, Sydney's going, Kevin from Comic Frontline's going. I know Kat from Comic Frontline's going. But I'm going there to represent all three places, and hopefully there'll be a lot of interesting content in this first annual special New York Comic Con. Oh,
okay, yeah, you're talking about the faux New York Comic Con? I'm making every attempt to be at the real one.
No, it's not.
I'm going to be in the real
fake.
one.
It's still
I know
Reed.
It's not fake. I'm just being an ass.
Yeah, it's NYC Special Edition is the
small
official
one.
name.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Brian. I completely forgot what it was called.
Which takes place in June. So, all right. So for me, not too much to talk about this week. Binary Grade number 7. I've said this for the past 3 or 4 weeks now. Is finally wrapping up. We had a few things we needed to
someday
wrap up, and we're trying to get the trade up on Comixology as well. And all right, sorry about that little blip. We were thinking about it, and we were chatting offline, and we just had to beat Gordon down for his Zack Snyder comments, so we kicked him off the call. So, much love, Gordon. We love you, man. But no,
that'll teach you.
Either that or the robot is just really upset. I don't know what's going on over there. But
the robot really loves Sucker Punch, man.
That's what it is. But real quick, just to wrap up what I have coming up. In addition from Assailant, we're actually working on another book that'll be coming out soon. It's about 2/3 of the way done. It's a Western book. I don't know how much I can say about it. I don't know if it's been announced by Chris or not. Have you seen anything about it, John?
No, I haven't yet. So.
Okay, so he may not have announced it.
Better keep it close to the vest at the moment.
Yeah.
Let me check. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Okay. But it's a really cool book. It's something completely different than anything else he's done so far. So, that's refreshing. Assailant keeps doing creative stuff, so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it was Appleseed Comics and Art Convention.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And aside from that, there was something else I was going to mention. Can't remember what it was, but I will say this. Still coming out supposedly sometime later this year, Singularity, Rise of the Posthumans. It's a steampunk superhero anthology that I'm contributing to from New Babel Books. I've talked about it on the show before. It's created by, and God, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. It's either Jaime or Jamie. I'm not sure. Ramos. That's why I kind of... It might be Jaime, I'm not sure, but he created.
Jaime makes you sound cool.
Yeah, I know. He created the Chris is laughing because of Blue Beetle, but
Yeah, I figured. I was like, what? He's just laughing at me, but then I'm like, oh, it must be a Blue Beetle.
yeah, exactly. But he also contributes a story, as well as Jenny Wood, Lee Houston Jr., Nancy Hansen, David Michelini, John F. Allen, and of course yours truly. So looking forward to that. And I'll be at Derby City Comic Con, June 28th and 29th. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this week. And working on a whole bunch of stuff. Made some connections at River City, actually. Landed 5 potential jobs through that convention, John, if you didn't know. So that's pretty cool. And some other interests as well with people taking my card and stuff. So
Got you out of the house and got your work.
Indeed. So
aren't I special?
You are. Well, you were anyway.
Work.
No work for you. Oh.
But that's it. That's our show. So, does anybody want to read us out? I can do it. Either way, I'll do it.
Had I not went ahead and deleted the thing, I would be glad to. But I closed out the thing. I was even thinking of reading us out as George Takei, but I can't.
Oh my!
Oh
We'd
my.
like to think. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. But we'd like to.
I have it.
Oh, you have it.
If
Go
I
ahead.
can find the thing. Oh wait, I can do it.
Okay, go.
Oh my! We'd like to thank our sponsors once again. Audible.com. Go to audibletrial.com/Zone4Podcast. Oh no, I'm going into Dracula. Go to the website for a free 30-day trial and book download. And oh my, let us not forget the Derby City Comic Con. Go to their website, www.dirtycity... Oh, I said dirty. Oh my. I meant to say derbycitycomiccon.com. We would like to thank the official bands of Zone 4, the Ray Wall Band, and Society's Plague that you hear on the show each and every week. If you have any oh my comments, questions, or suggestions for us, send the dirty ones to me. But send the clean ones to zone4@comicrelated.com. We are also proud members of the Comic Related Podcast Network. And as always, thank you for listening. You are now leaving Zone 4.
You're tired.
Live long and prosper. Where we are, Mr. Takei, I am so sorry.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
This is only a test for the X-Men.
Yeah, we'd already started a call, so that's why I didn't answer.
No problem. I'm assuming it's also why John didn't answer.
Yeah.
Or this would have been a great thing, dueling Zone 4 podcast.
Yeah, 2 separate Zone 4s, that would have been interesting.
And then, Bran could have just taken a chunk of one and thrown it in the middle. That would have been...
No.
Weave them into each other, that would have been nice.
Does anybody have any Audible stuff to recommend this time? If not, I'll look something up.
Look up the Gordon Freeman stuff.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, yeah. Look it up. That was funny stuff.
Or find the Samuel L. Jackson book, I think it's like Go the to Sleep or something.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, that is what it is. Okay.
Yeah, in celebration of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a family show, buy this book by Samuel L. Jackson with an unmentionable word.
Yeah. Nice.
It's nighttime and you've had enough to eat. Get under the covers and go the to sleep.
Actually, I'll do my unflattering impersonation of the captain.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Listen to this great audiobook. Samuel L. Jackson and get the Brant, why are you having to use swear words on the podcast?
The funny thing is, underneath that, of course, I searched for his name. He's also partially narrating the Bible Experience series.
Nice.
Those are audible choices, Samuel L. Jackson does the Bible Experience. He handles the book of Ezekiel.
Yeah.
And they said unto Moses, we've been walking around this desert for 40 motherfucking years.
Because Samuel L. Jackson's saying, the path of the righteous man is, wait a minute, Tarantino got this verse wrong.
Wait. Why am I quoting this wrong?
This is all going in the outtakes with the bleep talk.
Beep, 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 beep.
And you can title this one, Brant, The Episode with Oedipal Overtones.
A goo.
Well, no, because we're using the word a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
That's it.
I'm sorry, Chris. You just told me that your son listens. We're all a bad influence on our youth.
His word is going to be.
They'll be like, oh, it's cute. Oh, it's cute. He's saying mama, father. No, that's not what he's saying.
Right now, if this is at the end of the episode, I am sure right now, if Ron's listening, he's like, "Oh my God, what the Brant? What the are you thinking?"
He'll be like, I go away for a week and it all goes to pot. I don't know.
Hey, you put a baby on the show?
Oh, shoot.
So I do apologize, Chris, for the profanity.
Oh, don't worry about it.
He doesn't have his little baby
It's New
earphones,
York.
hopefully.
No, but he hears your voice, Brant, and he keeps looking every time he hears you because of yesterday's little goo goo gaga you had with the baby.
I was like, you don't say. What's up? Really?
That child lives in New York. He's going to hear that word
That's true.
20
Very
million
true,
times.
exactly.
He's
I
going to
have
hear the
pre-K
word in
kids.
daycare.
Exactly. My pre-K kids are saying that word already.
Yeah.
Well, see, I feel that if a young person should learn profanity, they should learn it on the street, not from fellow adults. That's how I learned popular swear words.
Oh, God.
Aren't you glad you signed back on for that?
Oh, I'm so glad. Dirty City. Oh, my.
Dirty City. Oh, my.
Oh, God.
That was such a slip of the tongue, too. I was trying to say dirty, but it came out dirty, and I was like, ooh, this is perfect.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.